In the middle of absolute chaos, with the city already torn apart and fights breaking out everywhere, at the center of it all is the Thing, charging forward like a wrecking ball. His massive rocky fist raised as he shouts his iconic line, "It's clobbering time!" He's not just fighting one enemy. This is a full-blown brawl, with heroes and villains clashing all around him, and even someone trying to restrain him from behind. But nothing slows him down. He barrels forward anyway, swinging through the madness. Despite how intense everything looks, Ben admits it feels like they've been stuck in this war forever, like decades of non-stop fighting and chaos. But this entire situation, all this destruction, all these fights, it only started last Wednesday. The Thing explains that things didn't just go bad locally, it was global. After most of the Justice League got overwhelmed and taken down by the Squadron Supreme, a new group entered the scene, the Legion of Superheroes. People who were supposed to be allies, Superman's childhood friends. But instead of helping, they ended up going just as wild and unstable as everyone else. That's when it became clear something was seriously wrong with everyone, not just a few bad actors. The chaos was widespread. Spider-Man, in the middle of a brutal fight, dodging attacks while getting overwhelmed from multiple directions, clearly caught in the same madness as everyone else. Around him, other heroes and fighters are clashing non-stop, turning what should have been teamwork into complete disorder. This isn't an isolated incident. This kind of fight is happening everywhere. The Thing describes it as just one of hundreds of battles breaking out across the globe. He briefly name-drops other major incidents like what happened with X-Force in Gotham, and the Power Pack at Titan's Tower, implying no place was safe, no team stayed united. It's not just chaos, it's organized systems collapsing all at once. The Thing pulls the narrative back and says, "But let me rewind the reel and show you how this circus really started." The moment everything started to go wrong, Ben Grimm takes us back to what seemed like a completely normal day at the Fantastic Four's home, where he was just in the middle of cooking, preparing food, being around his team. Out of nowhere, something feels off. Ben notices the sky and calls out, guys?" There's a strange red glow outside. Everything suddenly flashes red for just a heartbeat. He realizes something isn't right and asks, "You seeing this?" That red flash becomes the turning point, the exact second the fuse was lit. But Ben explains that it started with regular people. They weren't fighting at first, just honking, shouting, getting irrationally angry. It seemed small, like typical chaos you could calm down. They tried to step in and settle things, but it wasn't. Whatever it wasn't normal anger. It was something deeper, something spreading. Ben describes it like it was crawling inside everybody, infecting them. The villains began reacting like territorial animals. The lizard lost control completely, lashing out violently without reason. That's when the real cause starts to reveal itself. Ben explains, "You see, that fake-out fishbowl, Mysterio, was pulling strings way above his pay grade. Courtesy of a Saturn Queen from the future. And her shiny little gift, a rage-powered red lantern." They connected that red lantern energy directly into the Hulk. Hulk wasn't just angry anymore, he became a living broadcast tower of rage, pumping uncontrollable fury into the entire world. His anger wasn't contained, it spread like a signal infecting minds everywhere. That's why everyone, heroes, villains, civilians, started losing control at the same time. And once that happened, there were no sides anymore. Heroes began fighting heroes. Villains didn't just take advantage, they joined in, making things worse. Ben explains that somehow a few individuals managed to resist the influence of the rage spreading through the world. We see this group gathered together, trying to make sense of what's happening and figure out a way to stop it. Among them are Superman, Captain America, Stargirl, She-Hulk, Green Lantern, and the Thing himself. Ben explains that some people resisted simply because of who they are. Superman, for example, is naturally grounded. He's not wired to lose control like that. The same goes for Captain America. Then there's Stargirl, someone who still genuinely believes in people no matter what, which surprisingly makes her resistant too. Stargirl nervously talks to Captain America, saying it's an honor to meet him and mentioning her stepdad. Cap responds, 44, Zemo had us pinned. Pat Dugan didn't flinch. Guess that makes you standing here more than coincidence. Then Ben talks about the other type of resistance. People who've already dealt with overwhelming rage before and managed to come back from it. That's where She-Hulk and Green Lantern come in. They've both experienced intense emotional extremes in the past, so this rage doesn't control them the same way. She-Hulk shuts down Green Lantern's attempt at flirting, saying she's not dating anyone right now, while Green Lantern casually brags about beating a Red Lantern ring twice before. Then Ben reflects on himself.
But me? No one quite figured it. Jen laughed, said I was too hard-headed to be anybody's puppet, but I knew the score.
He knows he gets angry, a lot, but his anger is different from Hulk's. He doesn't lash out at the world, instead he turns that frustration inward, dealing with it in his own way.
I beat myself up, but that's my business.
With this group together, they finally piece everything together. What Mysterio and Saturn Queen did. Superman comes to a conclusion. There's only one way to stop all of this. Ben describes it as,
the move nobody had the guts to even try. Calm the Hulk down. In a world dead set on staying outraged forever.
The plan immediately turns into action as they confront the Hulk. Superman charges first, flying straight at him, but Hulk reacts instantly, swinging with full power and shouting,
Hulk smash!
As he lands a devastating punch that sends Superman flying back. Seeing that, the Thing jumps in next, grabbing Hulk from behind and trying to lock him down. Starting his usual line,
It's clobbering time!
But he didn't even get to finish it before the situation shifts again. Superman comes back into the fight almost immediately. Instead of continuing the fight, Superman stops attacking. While Ben is still holding Hulk back, Superman doesn't swing again. He gets close, and he talks to him. Ben watches it happen in disbelief.
It was the first time I ever saw the Hulk listen and feel something besides anger.
Not instantly, but it works. Hulk begins to hesitate, to think. The rage starts draining out of him little by little. He weakens, dropping down. Ben couldn't say anything, just watch.
Pretty sure he even cried.
Then it happens. Hulk is gone. Standing there instead is Bruce Banner, shaking, overwhelmed, tears in his eyes as the weight of everything hits him all at once. Superman stays with him, telling him, You're safe, Bruce. And as that happens, the effect spreads outward. The pressure that was gripping the entire world begins to fade. The anger, the violence, the constant fighting, it all starts to ease. Ben reflects on it.
We stopped Mysterio and his girlfriend, and mopped up the villains who wouldn't let it go. Then it ended as fast as it started.
Superman stands holding Mysterio while the Thing has Saturn Queen restrained. Superman explains that Doctor Strange and Zatanna have confirmed the Red Lantern's influence is gone and that the entire world is slowly waking up. Ben responds saying that now everyone is going to have to face each other again and deal with what they've done. That leads into a deeper conversation between them. Superman asks if Ben wants to just pretend nothing happened, and Ben, being honest, admits that, yeah, he kind of does. He believes burying it might be easier than confronting it.
You saw what they turned Banner into.
But Superman disagrees. Mysterio didn't just need a monster. He wanted us convinced we hated each other. Ben questions that idea, asking why. Superman answers simply, because if we don't, then the entire fight becomes pointless. That idea hits hard, and Ben pushes back wondering if they really are all on the same side. Especially in a world that constantly forces people to pick sides or be treated like the enemy. Superman steps closer and puts a hand on Ben's shoulder, saying he refuses to blindly label anyone as an enemy, and that people deserve a chance before being judged. He genuinely believes in that, even after everything that just happened. Ben responds more realistically, pointing out that people are always just waiting for something to get angry about. Superman turns to leave, but not before giving one final thought. Anger is easy, listening is hard. Face to face still matters. Real people, real conversations. He smiles. It's not always clobbering time, Ben. He starts lifting off into the sky and flying away, leaving Ben standing there watching him go, not really having a response to that kind of optimism. Later, we see Bruce Banner alone in a dark room, sitting on a bed, holding his head, clearly struggling with everything that just happened. Then the door opens. The Thing walks in holding a box of donuts. Bruce looks up, surprised, asking why he's here. And Ben explains he brought donuts and he figured Banner shouldn't have to sit alone with everything that just happened. He admits sometimes he gets angry too. He just doesn't talk about it much. Bruce asks if Ben came to talk. Then Ben gives him an honest answer.
I think we're all overdue. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel.